You need to understand, carbonara does not need cream or peas or ham or whatever else people are putting in it. It's so simple. Today, hang out for a second and you're gonna learn how to do it right. Let's not waste any time. Now let's go! Traditionally, you're gonna see spaghetti carbonara made with guanciale, which is the jowl, meaning the cheek of a pig that's been cured. So for this video, of course, I could have ordered guanciale, but I know most of my audience is American, so I want the most people possible to actually make this, so we're gonna use bacon. And thick cut bacon would be best. You could also use pancetta. So I'll take about a ½ pound of bacon, and we're gonna slice this just pretty thick this way. That's about 3/4 of an inch. Turn this pan on to medium heat. I'm doing a tiny bit of olive oil. I don't think it's traditional, but when I'm cooking Italian food, it just feels right. Then go ahead and break your bacon into that pan. And what we're gonna do here is slowly render out the fat from this bacon, get it nice and crispy. We'll use most of it in the pasta, and then we'll actually use some for garnish, because who doesn't like crispy bacon on top? Now, bacon is rendering, pasta water is coming up to a boil. And we're gonna season our pasta water just a little bit, about a tablespoon of salt, kosher salt, into about 4 quarts of water. Usually I'm gonna put more salt, but because there's so many salty elements in carbonara, I wanna put less salt in the pasta water. So first is very important, we need to talk about the cheese. Here we have pecorino romano, it's a sheep's milk cheese. This one is aged. I think this is what is traditionally used when you're making spaghetti carbonara. But as always, if you watch this channel, you know I love parmigiano reggiano. That's not to be confused with Parmesan. Make sure it says parmigiano reggiano and it's from Italy, and you'll know you have the good stuff. So what I'm gonna do is a mixture of both these cheeses. And you want them to be pretty fine, so I'm gonna be using this cheese grater. And if you don't have one of those, just use this setting on a box grater. And just get to shredding. I'm gonna do about 3 ounces of each of these cheeses, so half and half. But as always with my videos, the full recipe is gonna be down in the description underneath this video. You just gotta click that little arrow and it'll open up. So here's all our beautiful cheese. Okay, now time for the eggs. A lot of recipes call for all whole, all yolks. I like to do a mixture of both. So I'm doing 3 whole eggs, as well as 2 egg yolks. The way I see it, carbonara is already so rich, it doesn't need all egg yolks. Go ahead and whisk that all up. And then we'll start whisking our cheese into our egg mixture. And you'll see all that. And it looked like so much cheese, right? But as this breaks down, it won't look like that anymore. So add that all in. And so now we have a consistency like this. Now this is a very important time for our good friend, Sergeant Gilbert. I'm gonna put quite a bit of Gilbert's insides into this egg mixture. If you didn't know already, Gilbert is just fresh ground black pepper. He's a sentient being, a pepper grinder who became self-aware in 2020. You know, and this is preference. Put as much pepper or as little pepper as you like and whisk it in. As you can see, there's a lot of fat coming out of this bacon. You just want to turn this occasionally. And we are going to be using some, but not all of this fat in the actual spaghetti carbonara. Another thing you can do is just take a little bit of that boiling water and add it to the eggs. Quickly whisk that in. We're kind of equalizing the temperatures here and loosening up this egg mixture a little bit, and it's gonna make the whole pasta come together a lot easier in the end. I put just about a 1/4 cup in here. Our bacon is almost rendered, so now we'll drop our spaghetti. We'll try to do that twisty thing. Kinda worked. Just get a little bit of water up on it. Let that roll. Check it on the bacon. I turned the heat down in the end. Be careful not to overcook this. Looks pretty much perfect. First, I'm gonna take some out for garnish, drain it on a paper towel. Now I'm turning off the heat of this pan, and I'm gonna drain off most of the fat, all except for about 2 tablespoons or so. And then just set that back over there. Remember, now heat is off. This is so important. Okay, and of course we're gonna put some olive oil in this pasta. No, we're not gonna do that. Why do people do that? It's a myth. It's a myth. Just like MSG is gonna give you cancer or whatever. It's just not true, and it serves no purpose, so don't do it. Don't do it, okay? Another thing I want to share with you, there are tons of expensive pasta brands out in the world, but honestly, like, I like these cheap Italian brands, like this one, Gecko, I don't know how to say it, but like, I don't know why, I just prefer the cheap one. So if anyone's wondering, this is what I use. So we'll cook this spaghetti about 10 minutes in this pot, just slightly al dente, and then we'll finish it over in this bacon pan. Remember, still no heat on this pan. I'm gonna explain all this soon, but you wanna leave this water in this pot. This will make sense in a minute. So here we go, it's been 10 minutes. We're just gonna use our tongs here. Drop that in there. Trust me, this spaghetti is generating a ridiculous amount of heat. Turn that pasta water down to a simmer. Once you have all the pasta out, now we're gonna add in that beautiful egg and cheese mixture. The whole trick here, and what you really need to keep in mind, is that we do not want to scramble these eggs. The eggs are going to cook from the heat of this pasta and very gently and beautifully in a velvety, fluffy, creamy way coat it all up, right? Don't worry, you're not eating raw eggs. And gentle with the pasta, you don't want to break it. Oh man. Whew. And the pasta water, the bacon fat, the cheese and egg mixture is now emulsifying all over this pasta. You see how creamy this is? I'm also using these Le Creuset pans, which I'll link in the description, and they hold a lot of heat. So I don't think I even need to do my plan, but I can show you why I left that pasta water on. Because if it doesn't thicken up like you like, literally what you can do is set that pan back on top of that pasta water, and like a double boil or bain-marie, it will keep cooking the egg mixture. But I don't think I even really need to do this. But that's a good option, especially if you're using a pan that's not as thick as this. Oh my God. It looks so good. And if it looks too thick to you, also what you can do is just add a little bit of that pasta water. That's gonna loosen it up and help establish that creamy sauce that has no cream. Done. No scramble, nothing. Go ahead and plate this up. Get it off the tongs like so. Oh man. Now to finish, a little more parmigiano reggiano. All over, nothing wrong with that. And of course some of your crispy bacon, just for an added crunch. That is a bonus no one is gonna complain about, trust me. I mean, how bad do you wanna tuck into this treat? Allow me to try it. Oh, allow me to try it for you. Here we go, a little bacon. Oh my gosh. I see a lot of people who leave my YouTube videos right now. It's such a big mistake. They obviously don't know about the fridge. God, that's good. You gotta make this. Here's my rolling pin. I just feel like this is what an Italian grandmother would do. What? Well, I hope that helped. Until next time, my friends, you know I love you and I'm out.